Welcome to the jungle, folks. Excuse the mess. Garden's currently under sort of getting sorted out. The back end now down there is nearly done beyond that fence. So I've just got this temporary sort of tent up here where I just put odds and ends in from the garden as and when we're doing it up. So I've got some of this 8x2 here. I've had it for... it must be about 3 years or something like that. I've just had it sort of lying about and I just like not getting rid of it. I've got some nice oak there as well I've had for absolutely ages, but I don't want to waste that yet. That's for future projects when I get better at what I'm doing. Excuse the red socks, by the way. So I'm just checking here, checking for splits, any sort of major defects in the wood, because it has been left. Although been undercover, it's been sort of out, if that makes sense. But, you know, it's dry, it's, you know, you could call it air dried or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just marking up here 33 inches. I will put a full sort of list down of the dimensions of this in the description. Now, there's various ways to make this, what I'm making, and it's a project I've seen actually being made on YouTube, so I thought I'd have a go on it because I just like the look of it. I've never made one before. I just thought I'd have a go just to see what it comes out like. But the ones I've seen being made, nobody's put a bit of... I don't want to disrespect no one because I don't disrespect anybody, but like a bit of love and a bit of detail into it. So I just want to put a little bit of my stamp onto the final design and just to see if I can make things more visually appealing as it, rather than it being just a basic item. So I'm just going in here with the cuts. Now I measured it with a speed square. I think it's 35 degrees. I'll recheck in my book. I've got it wrote down, but off the top of my head here, I'm not sure whether it was 30 or 35, and I'm getting mixed up with the length, which was 33 inches. I did this project in inches, so sorry for the millimetre guys out there, but the dimensions will be in inches in this one. I can work in both, so it's not a problem. So I'm just going in, and what I've done here, I've set up my miter saw for the same sort of cut, and just to make sure that I've got everything sort of spot on. So I'm just using this as a straight edge here, just to find centre of that board, marking across, finding centre, then two sort of holes just off centre to that as well, 5 centimetres apart. Got this little T-square rule thing. I got that off Banggood a while back now. Really inexpensive, and it's really accurate as well. I have done an accuracy test on it. I learnt that from YouTube as well, how to do accuracy tests on various tools and stuff like that. You know, really surprising what you can learn. I always find, like now, YouTube and that kind of stuff is a lot better than normal sort of terrestrial TV. You can sort of pick up tips, watch things you like, your interests, everything. It's a lot better. We never watch normal television anymore. We will always watch YouTube, and it's various things. We watch like food reviews and all that kind of stuff. As you can tell by the size of me, I like my food. And speaking of food, at the end of the video, after the reveal of this project, I'm going to be doing my weigh-in. So remember what I was telling you about my health kick and that kind of stuff? I'm going to be doing that. So you'll get me weight, and then I'm going to do it every Sunday to see if I can lose some weight. So I hope it inspires a few people. So let's shed a few pounds. So here, the battery's going flat on my drill. So I'll change that. So I'm just finding it hard to get a sort of cut here. Batteries, these batteries on the DeWalt drill generally, are really good. I like these drills. They're quite got a bit of power behind them. So what I'm trying to do under it is go as cordless as I can. Obviously I can't with my miter saw or my table saw, but with all the little bits that sort of cords everywhere, like my drills, my router, my jigsaw. I've just purchased a new router. and a new jigsaw, which you won't see in this video. You'll probably see it on a couple of the videos coming up. This is my corded router. I'm just cleaning it up. I like this little router, but what I'll probably end up doing is donating this to somebody that, you know, is finding it tough with money and stuff like that. So, or a young kid that wants to get into trade, that's learning about woodworking, you know, getting an apprenticeship or a job, and he needs a few tools. I'll have a look. I've not made no decisions yet, but it'll be going that way. And one thing I certainly won't be getting rid of is my corded sander. I love this. So here I've got a 150 grit 3M Cubitron pad on here, and just go over it. Just get everything a pre-sand, make sure everything's nice and smooth. I like doing this, getting all the splinters off, especially because Shelley sort of pre-stains everything anyway, and she's going to pre-stain this project for me. So here she is, and she's just going over it with a new medium oak, I think this is. This stain, yeah, new medium oak with the it's a spirit-based stain by Morel's. Good project. Doesn't this look familiar? Batteries charging everywhere. So she'll go in. She was moaning at me about the holes here. She couldn't get in quite well enough. He's looking for a postman. But she does it in the end. You know, they've always got to have a moan, the other half, haven't they? They've got to moan about something. She's not been too good lately, as Shelley. She's had pains in the legs and stuff like that, but she's getting back on form now. I don't know, just age. Age creeps up on us all, but we've got to make the best of it, haven't we? So I'm just marking it out here. Now, here's where I'm sort of no good at maths. I'm thinking, I'm doing this off my own head, although I've seen it being made on YouTube. I'm trying to make sure my angles are right. I've got everything lined up. I've got it in the right orientation. And believe me, it took a few attempts to get it in the right orientation. Other people just get it straight away. But we had to get the dog in there, because just before that on the video, he was absolutely going mental at the gate. Parcel delivery man come and, you know, got off sort of quick sharp, because Stanley was like going off on one. I will film him one day doing it. So I'm just using glue here. It doesn't say on the things I've watched that to use glue, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to use a bit of Type Bond free glue here, just in case it goes outside this project, and just let it go off just for 20 minutes just to hold it before I screw it. There's no reason, that's the only reason I'm putting the glue on there, and it probably will give it a little bit more support, but I'm using sort of big screws on this, so I'm just marking down where my screw holes are going to be here, just to the best of where I think they'll be best situated. And there's my world famous pencil, the 10-pence pencil. So I left that 20 minutes before I come back to it. You could probably see the little gap in the video there. I didn't want to show you the video of it drying for 20 minutes. So I'm just countersinking, pre-drilling and countersinking here. I'm just going to the side of that knot there as much as I can. But I like the look of this. I know this won't be everybody's cup of tea. It'll be a love it or hate it sort of project. But I like, you know, when you watch something, somebody make something, and something takes your eye. I know everybody's different, but I absolutely love this, and I could see this done in various ways that sort of could really enhance interior. So I'm going in here with 7cm screws, wood screws. These are what I've got in the. I've got some like longer screws in my little stash, so I use these. I use various size screws on different parts of the project. I could have probably got away with 8cm, but I was just worried about blowing out through the other side. So I'm just going in here again, pre-drilling and countersinking around the edges here, so I don't cause any splits to the wood. And if you would subscribe, if you're watching the channel, subscribe. I want to thank everybody that's bought me a coffee, everybody that's coming on and joining the channel and subscribing and commenting, so it's been brilliant, so please continue. But the main thing is, if you subscribe to the channel, that'd be excellent. And any sort of funds are raised through Make Me a Coffee, my memberships, the super thanks, all that kind of stuff, all that gets put back into new timber and new things that I can produce these videos and make these videos better. So I'm just going in here again with some Titebond 3 I've got in this glue bot here. Well, do you know what? I hope I've put Titebond 3 in there. You know, I've got 2 of them glue bots, and I think that's Titebond 3. I'm sort of 99% sure it is. So I'm going in here with longer screws here, slightly longer. You know, this has got to take sort of, if the good test of anything is if it can take my weight. And although in the end, when you see it at the final reveal at the end of the video, it looks a bit small, but this is, it's not a bad size for an house really, or a smaller property. I can sit on it, it's quite comfortable, and it's just a real nice design. So I'm just going in here, putting the back on an angle. Now I forgot to cut that top section that's going across there. I could have ran that through the table saw just to get it level with the top of here, but obviously I haven't. See it where it pops up there. Just a thing that I could have done, and in the video I watched, it didn't do that, so that's probably why I've not done it. But I will do something with that in a second. So I haven't got me tapering jig yet. I have ordered micro jig clamps and stuff like that, and I'm going to make a jig and make a video of it. But I'm just going in with my jigsaw here, nice and slow, nice and easy, make them cuts. And this turned out really good, to be honest, you know. And it's good practice really for when you haven't got the jigs and all that kind of stuff. If you can learn to do stuff a bit freehand like this, it stands you in good stead, doesn't it? So just go nice and slow, just be careful. And there we go. Nice taper. So you can see that little taper there, what I've made, and it makes a difference to the backrest. So I'm just going in again, drilling and countersinking. And what I will do there is I'll put like 100 centimetre, not 100 centimetre, 10 centimetre, 100 millimetre screws. So I'm telling you all about the screws in millimetres, but the actual thing itself are made in inches. I don't know if that's just a British thing where we tend to do things, both methods, you know, a bit of a mishmash of sizes, I don't know. But I've always sort of like done that in whatever I'm doing. If I'm measuring a chest of drawers up, you know, I measured it in inches, millimetres, whatever, for my antiques and stuff. So I just added these bit longer ones for the added support for that backrest. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, I don't know, but I'm assuming it is. I mean, the finished article here, it's absolutely bomb-proof. So you can see what I'm making here. It's the design's called a Leopold chair, and I absolutely love them. It takes me back to when I'm doing my antiques, and you can get sort of like Gothic ecclesiastical bits of furniture that they'd use in churches. It's got that sort of vibe to it, that Gothic vibe, very sort of Pugin-esque in sort of the look to them. But I've put my little trademark holes in there, try to jazz it up a little bit. And what you don't see the other sort of makers doing, or I've not, is sort of like putting plugs in and putting a bit of stain on and all this kind of stuff. Whereas I am, because I'm gonna show it in the house. I don't know if it ends up outside this, I'll end up getting Shelley to put some outdoor sort of finish on it to keep it well for the outdoors. But it's absolutely bomb-proof. You could, it's I wouldn't say overly heavy, but it's really strong and robust. So how I've made this the size-wise as well, I've not made a bench, I've not made a chair, I've made something sort of in between, so you could sort of use these as like window seats under a big window, that kind of thing, or in an hallway. It's just a little bit different. So I'm just cutting some plugs out here, just out of pine this time, because Shelley stained it. There was no point in using sort of like oak or mahogany plugs, and the pine's fine. So these plugs I'm using are slight. I think they're 12.5 mil or something like that. I can't remember the size of the plug cutter, to be perfectly honest with you. But you get the drift. It doesn't really matter as long as the plug holes are cut for the same size as the plugs. That's the main thing. Just give them a tap down. It's absolutely getting freezing here where I am in the UK, in Derbyshire. So hence the green gilet. I'm always in my work clothes. This is part of my work attire. So yeah, don't forget the weigh-in at the end of the video, folks. You know, as I'm doing this sort of edit on here, I've still not done that weigh-in, and I'm just going to lump it onto the end of the video. So after I've done this, I'm going to go and do the weigh-in and put it onto the end of the video. So I haven't got a clue what I actually weigh, and I know I'm going to be shocked. So anyway, I'm just going over the bottom here, running a route around the bottoms of the feet, just to help with splinters, you know, splitting and catches and stuff like that. And now, this is the top bit. I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to rasp it down. And these Japanese rasp, oh my word, they are brilliant. They just take loads and loads of wood off every pass you make with it. Just be, if you get one, just be really careful you don't take too much wood off. So I just sort of shaped them corners over just to give it. I thought, you know, I've made the mistake not running it through the table saw, so I thought, you know, get around that problem, make a feature of that. So that's what I've done, and it's like a subtle sort of round over onto each corner of that. So here's Shelley again now. She's just going over everything now with stain. And what I have done is I've rounded various bits over her corners really sharp. I didn't want to take away from the sharp look of it, but just rounding them little corners over has not really took away from the actual look of it. So it's worked out quite well. So nobody's going to sort of like get hurt if they pick it up or bang into it. And here's it's finished. And there we go, little Leopold sort of half bench sort of thing that would be a really nice window seat. So I'm just going to go and get ready now for my weigh-in. I will be back with you shortly. Thanks for watching this video, but just stay tuned. I'm going to be back just as soon as this clip finishes. But look at that, how cool is that? I love it, I absolutely love it. I know it's Marmite. See you in a minute. Right, as promised, folks, me weigh-in. So if you're a bit tubby like me and you want to lose a bit of weight, get a bit inspired and all that kind of stuff, I'm doing it, you can do it. So I've not weighed myself. I hope you like the Leopold bench on the video. So here goes, yeah? Now, I don't know what, I've not weighed myself for ages, so just let that zero out. Oh, look, Stanley's come to have a look. £251. £251. I don't know what that is in stone, so you can work that out. So every Sunday night, I'm going to do this. £251. I need a wigwam to wear. So anyway, right, that's that. See you on the next video where I'm making something cool. Thanks for watching. You're all brilliant. Subscribe. Now you're getting weigh-ins every Sunday.